Yeah, I'll see if I can get in there and get it. I'll do something back.
Hey, man. You going out there?
If you run it, I'll do it back.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's one of you. Thank you.
How are y'all doing this morning?
Amen. Good morning.
Is that loud enough?
That's loud enough.
Okay, make sure I'm loud enough so y'all can hear me. Alright. Well, I was asking, last week for Johnny to do the Sunday school lesson to give him a week to rest his voice, I believe it was.
Amen.
And, usually, that's always the fun part, is figuring out what are you going to teach them. I mean, that's always the part. But, me and Scott have been talking about, I need to eye on myself, whether he knows or not, I haven't really been studying like I ought to, and get back into taking time to study through the Bible. So, I ended up picking my favorite book in the Bible, which is Genesis.
Amen.
Why Genesis, I could take, could explain, this is the book I get the most out of, than any book in the Bible. But, anyways, I'd like to, encourage you now while I'm up here, to take time to think about what is your favorite book in the Bible, maybe encouraging you to take time to study through it, and see what you get out of it.
Amen.
I mean, when you study, please don't study it lightly. Go as deep as you possibly can, and take it seriously. Because we oftentimes, when I used to play trading card games, and I know that's probably irrelevant, but I used to spend hours. I'd go to school, and all I'd think about was what I was going to do when I got home.
That's right. Come
Why
on.
can't I go? Why can't I do that about the Bible? Why can't I go somewhere and think, wait, I'm going to spend all my time and energy in thinking about God's Word, and about God, and about what He said.
Amen.
I can do that about Pokemon. Why can't I do that about the Bible?
Amen.
Why can't we do that about the things we like?
See, he's not as young as he looks.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, we're going to go ahead and open up in a word of prayer. Dear Lord, this God, we thank you so much for this wonderful day. We thank you, God, that we can just be in your house, Lord, and I'm just asking, God, that you'd help me, Lord. I don't want to speak to these guys in words that aren't going to profit them, Lord, but I want words of profit that come out of your mouth, that come from you, straight from your lips. Lord, as you put those words in Jeremiah's lips, Lord, I pray, God, you put the words in my mouth, and they just come out, and they just speak to these people, Lord, through your Holy Spirit. Please help me. In Christ Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, well, tonight, or this morning, I'm used to night services. This morning will be in Genesis 1:1.
Amen.
And if we get past verse 1, it'll be a total act of God. I had to make
Amen.
verse
So
2.
Scott's teaching today. Okay, yeah, that's good.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Many of us know that verse. We think about that verse. And one thing I don't know why I never paid attention to it is if you really think about it, the first attribute, you could say the first characteristic of God is shown right there as creator. And as I looked that word up in my notes, creator, forgive me because I haven't really. Our creator, the ancient Hebrew word, I think B-A-R-A, created in Pacific, it means to create out of nothing.
Amen.
Showing that God created the world out of nothing, not out of himself. God is separate from his creation. And you think about that. It's very important, first of all, you take the very first look at the Bible, the very first verse. In the beginning, God created. You think about that. That God is creator of everything God made. He made it out of nothing, As I've been doing some studying and some reading, Jay McGee talked about some scientists and how they would, you spend billions of dollars every year to figure out how old the earth is, or not how God, but how they think things were formed, how they are made, whether it's the Big Bang Theory, or whether it's evolution, or whether it's this or that, because they got all kinds of things. I couldn't name all of them.
Amen.
But you think about that, they try to put an idea of how things were made. And as I was reading this, and I was looking at the Bible, you come to one conclusion. That conclusion is, it is not to know how the earth was made, but it's to know to simply trust God, and that He made it. He said He made it. We trust Him. We don't try to figure Him out. How would you like to serve a God that you could figure out?
Come on.
Would you want to serve a God that you could figure out? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want want to serve a God that I can figure out. If I can figure him out with my peanut-sized brain, I don't want to serve him.
That's right.
That's all God. But I'm going to tell you, I'm thankful that we serve a God that we can't figure out. That knows us better than we know him.
Amen.
And I'm thankful for that.
Thank you, Lord.
You know, you think about all that, and you see, Jared McGee said, made a comment that the story of creation was written in 282 words. It could have been written. It could not have been written. Could it not have been written in a more brief description, you know, that it told us more how God did it? Well, that ain't how God wanted it. He wanted us to see that we're to trust him. He gave us all the information he wanted us to know.
Amen.
But he not gave us more information, that would have been nice to answer some of our questions that we have. That wasn't the point. That was not the point ever, you know. And see, Scott showed me this site called Dirty Word Media. I'm very thankful for that site. But it lists a few things. It said the universe has a just right gravitational force. Is what it says, just right. You know, if it were larger, the stars would be too high and would burn up too quickly and too unevenly to support light. If it were smaller, the stars would remain so cool, nuclear fusion would never ignite and there would be no heat and light. The universe has a just right speed of light. If it were larger, stars would put out too much light. If it were smaller, stars would not send out enough light. The universe has a just right average distance between stars. If it were larger, the heavenly element distance would be too thin for the rocky planets to form, and there would only be gaseous planets. If it were smaller, planetary orbits would become destabilized because of the gravitational pull from other stars. The universe has a just right polarity of the water molecule. If it were greater, the heat of fusion and vaporization would be too great for life to exist. If it were smaller, the heat of fusion and vaporization would be too small for life's existence. Liquid water would become too inferior. A solvent for life's chemistry to recede ice would not float, leading to a runaway freeze-up. We would conclude that there is no chance that such a universe could create itself apart from intelligent design. So they say all that, and they want to say, in the schools today, I'm thankful I didn't get taught this, but that the earth created itself. It did not. It took an intelligent designer. His name is God, Yahweh. He created all this stuff. This is not by chance. This is by God. I honestly, y'all may disagree with me, but I believe everything is preordained. I believe God preordained everything, you know. And scientists, they spend all this time researching. And you can go down to the Dollar General right down the road, the dollar store, whatever it's called, and you can buy you a Bible for $1. It gives you all the answers you need to know, where everything is created from.
Amen. Come on.
You know?
Come on.
And one of the favorite verses I found in this study that I really like, I think God is being sarcastic with these scientists. He says, "Where was thou?" in Job 38:4. It says, "Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth, Claire? And thou hast understanding." Seriously. You're trying to, where were you when I made the earth? Do you understand how I made everything and how everything's created? Where were you? Where were you when I created all this?
That's
The
right.
fact is, we were not there. We're not meant to understand how God did it. We're meant to trust him.
That's right.
We're meant to put our faith in his word.
Amen.
And a comment was made that, you know, if you can't believe in the beginning God created heaven and earth, you probably don't believe the rest of the Bible.
Amen. Come on.
The first verse, you
That's
probably
right.
don't believe any of it.
That's right. It's a stumbling block to the rest. You're right, bro.
That's good.
You know, think about that. I found some very good, interesting verses. You know, Psalms 8:3 says, "When I consider thy heavens and the works of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained." You see, he made everything. He made the heavens with the work of his fingers. You see, we were made in the likeness of the image of God.
Right.
But the one difference between us and God is we're using stuff, we can't make something out of nothing.
Amen.
God made something out of nothing.
That's right.
We're only taking what God had and we're molding it into what we want. And that's a blessing right there, that we can mold things what we want. So I'm going to tell you, I like these smartphones, these computers, these tablets. I like all those things. But if God had not given us the information, the materials and all that, we could not make it.
You're right.
You see?
Amen.
In
That's
Psalms 19:1-6, it says, "Thy heavens declare the glory of God, and the
Amen.
firmament showeth his handiwork.
That's right.
Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge, that there is no speech nor language, where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. And then hath he set a tabernacle before the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his searcheth unto the ends of and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. You see, the heavens declare his glory, how great and mighty God is. And you see, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Then again, we go back to the fact that God created everything. And there's some points that God brought out to me through studying this that I never realized. It's crazy that this point doesn't even have any of these verses that he brought up. Don't even have anything to do with Genesis 1:1, but yet they do. You know, to me, I'd have never looked at them. You know. But and go on to, if you read Psalms 91 and 2, it says, The Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, forever thou hast formed the earth and the world. Even from everlasting thou art God. God was always there. He always was. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. In the beginning. See, God was always there. He was not made. He was there before the earth was ever in existence. You see? And Scott preached a while back, you know, Isaiah 40:12. Who hath measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, melted and measured out heaven with the span, and comprehended the dust of the earth in a measure, and weighed the mountains in scales and the hills in a balance. You see, God made this awesome universe.
Amen.
You think about it, look at how big God really is. And, you know, and how big this earth is and how small we really are, but yet God knows us better than we know ourselves.
That's true.
You know, and Isaiah 48:13 says, My hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heaven. And when I call unto them, they stand up together. You know, but one of the biggest things that come out in this study is that it takes faith. You know, you have to have faith to believe. If you don't have that faith, you won't believe. And I realize now that faith, one, comes from God. Like I said to start off with, that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. We have to believe in His Word and what His Word says.
That's right.
We have to accept it by faith. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Because we don't believe that, we're not, and we don't believe, you see.
That's right.
Because you go to, actually, Hebrews, verse 6, it says, But without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to God must believe He is, and that He is the rewarder of them that diligently seek Him, you know. Do you really believe that God created the heavens and the earth? We have many people who walk around that just don't believe that God created the heavens and the earth. And I've realized that I can't change whether they believe or don't believe, but I realize that I have a God that I can run to. Do you know you have a God you can run to pray for your friend, for your neighbor, your daughter, your kids, to believe in God, and He can open their eyes so they may see who Jesus is and see that that He is the Creator, He is the sustainer of everything, and that He made everything. You know, one day y'all are young married and years off, y'all have kids, and it'll be God's job to depend on to keep your kids in church and where they need to be.
Amen.
You know, it is God that we need to cling to. And we have to ask Him to help us cling to Him, because oftentimes we don't want to cling to Him. You know, in Colossians, I really like this. Who is the image? Or Colossians 1, chapter 15, verse 20. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature? For by Him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be by thrones, or dominions, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by Him and for Him. And He is before all things. By Him all things consist. And He is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things He might have the preeminence, for it pleased the Father that in Him should all fullness dwell. And having made peace through the blood of His cross, for Him to reconcile all things unto Himself, by Him I say, whether they be in earth, or they be things in earth, or things in heaven. And see, Christ made all things for who? The Father. And by Christ all things are made. Christ created all things for our God. They are three in one. The Holy Spirit, God the Father, God the Son. They're three in one. And see, all things are made. Everything. That means God created the evil. He created the bad, the good. He didn't create it, but we chose to act out on the evil. We chose to sin. It wasn't God that forced us to sin, but it was us that brought that sin into activation.
Come on.
It's us that used that sin to destroy ourselves. And you think about that. Because God made everything. And He gave us access to everything that we could possibly have access to.
Amen.
And we took it, and what do? We abused it.
Come on.
Everything He gave to us, we took it and we abused it for our selfish pleasures. Thank God that Jesus died so that
Thank you.
we could fix our sin.
Yes, amen. Thank
You know, and He was the firstborn of every creature. What was that? God, what it's saying there is Jesus was for everybody. He wasn't the firstborn. He was there before everybody. The invisible God, you see. For He is before all things, in verse 17. And by Him all things consist. You see, He is the invisible God. He's the God of things we can't see. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You know, and my granddad used to tell me, and he still beats into my head. He says, how can you love, if you can't love a man you can see beside you, how can you love a God you can't see? He says that to me. I'm like, that hurts, you know, because I'm over here, I'm really mad at someone. He's like, how can you love a God you can't see? How can you love a God you can't see if you can't love that man over there? I'm like, man,
Amen.
you know, and how can we really believe if we can't love, if we can't believe someone beside us, how can we believe in the God that we cannot see? We cannot believe, but we can't see God, but we have to have faith. And you see, without faith it's impossible to please God. And I come to what I've learned through this. I've learned that it takes faith. And that you have to have your faith in His Word, and you have to believe it. We covered that. It is His Word, and that He has given it to us. You see? And also in Hebrews 11, 1-3, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the Word of God, so that the things which are seen are not made of things which do appear. So see, everything you see is made by God you can't see. Everything you see was made by Him. He gave us knowledge, the will, the wisdom, everything we needed to make everything. Like Michael, we gave him the knowledge, the wisdom, the will that he needed to help people. Like a second ago, he was helping me figure out what the problem is in my tickle in my throat. And he said, just suck it up and you have to deal with it. That wasn't the answer I wanted. That's sometimes in life, that's what God says to us. He says, suck it up and believe it. You know, that's what we're going to have to do. We have to believe His Word is enough and it is all that we need.
I gave him a lot of my attention before I finally said, well, apparently you got to suck it up then. He's doing it.
Thank you.
Done with those. Alright, anyways, now, as I think about this though, one other thing that's come out of this, you know, how often do you at home take time to seriously sit down and to study the Word? You know, as we first start discussing, I obviously know that Jeffrey likes cars. He doesn't like some Mustang, I'm pretty sure he likes working on it. I know Scott likes cars, because half the time I go over there, he's playing some video on the TV or something about some car, and I'm just sitting there like, man, this is, I think God that I don't like cars, and I don't know nothing about cars.
That's all.
You know, someone asked me, how much you know about cars, and I want to start laughing inside, because as much as I know is how to change the oil, rotate the tires, put a filter in, an air filter in. But But how often do we study so many things we like, you know? Maybe there's some girl we like, we take time to pursue them, or some man or something.
Yeah, you
And we're
study them, don't you?
But why we're not pursuing the Word of God as much as we put into pursuing other things.
That's
We
good.
pursue jobs, we pursue all these other things, but how much do we really pursue to know the living God that we can't see? That if we just know Him and pursue Him, He's going to take care of all the rest.
That's right.
For if we seek first the kingdom of God, all things shall be given unto you. You know, if you seek first His kingdom, you know, His Word.
Amen.
All He asks us is one simple thing, is to trust Him, to put our faith in Him, and that's all we need. He is the sustainer of life that we need. He'll take care of the rest if we just trust Him. And do what He asks us to do. He'll take care of the rest.
Amen.
You know, I can tell you, like I told Scott the other day, I'm really messed up at a work situation because I have to have by January 15th is my first day of college. And I'm working a Monday through Friday 7 to 4 job. And it takes about a month to get a new position. If they don't give me a new position, I'm in a bad spot at work. You know, but all God says is, if I focus on that situation there, and I'm not focusing on God, there's a problem. You know, and oftentimes we focus on things that don't matter. We focus on how the earth was made instead of focusing on God.
Come on.
We need to focus on God, and He'll take care of the rest. What does it say? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you. Now we need to put our focus first on Him, and He'll take care of the rest. You know, as I focus on studying this Word, the whole time I'm like, what is the point here? What am I going to tell these people? He said, trust me, get up there, tell them what you studied, and then trust me, and I'm going to finish this. I'm going to take care of it. All I ask you to do is to be obedient.
Amen.
We act like that's such a hard task because we want an instruction manual that tells us how it's going to start from the very beginning, how it's going to end, so we know every little detail. We ain't know every little detail. All we know is that we trust Him, and He's going to take care of the rest.
That's right.
Amen.
Now that's the hard part because I'm getting ready. I think the year that the Lord getting ready to enter is going to be the roughest year I've ever had.
Amen. Come on.
Because
Amen, brother. Me too.
you know, I'm going to go from cutting my salary in half and going to school on top of that
Amen.
and having more expenses I've ever had. But the Lord told me just trust Him. He's going to
That's
take
right.
care of it all. I don't know where it's coming from yet. I just know it's going to be there.
Amen.
And I need it.